good, everybody? This is Brant with CPC Bodybuilding, the best channel in men's classic physique. Today, got a special one for you guys. We got the San Antonio Pro Classic Physique preview. We got IFBB Classic Physique Pro, two-time pro champ and Olympian. We got the Black Panther, Danny Anderson. Danny, how you doing, man?
What's going on, everyone? Happy to be here. Happy to be here, dog.
It's great to have you, man. I've been covering Danny for a long time, and it's like we were just talking before this. Like it seemed like a long time coming because we've been talking the DMs and whatnot. It's
Most
great to finally
definitely.
have him on.
Most definitely. I've been looking at the channel probably since you started, dude. I think I've been around for a while at this point. I always repost. I love the spotlight on classic physique, and I love the non-biased critiques of everything. It's like you like this guy, but you see him in fifth or whatever it is. I love it, dude. So definitely keep doing what you're doing and shedding some light on the category.
No, I appreciate you, man. And that's what we're gonna do here. So everybody, if you have not seen one of these previews before, maybe you're new to the channel, or maybe you're a loyal subscriber, we are gonna go through and we're gonna preview this whole lineup and then also give our top 5 picks at the end of the show. But before we do that, I want to make sure that you guys can find Danny here on socials. So we got his Instagram pulled up right here. It's the Black Panther. That's his nickname, as many of you guys may know him. You can find him on Instagram with that. Danny, you have any plugs for your sponsors, coaching, anything you want to mention?
Honestly, I would love to shout out my gym, Iron Grind Gym. They're supporting me in everything that I do. It's in El Paso. I also like to shout out Aslan Pharmaceuticals for your support in everything that you do also. And that's basically about it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, so if you guys want to support him, make sure you guys give him a follow first and then also use his links here. And if you're ever in El Paso, Texas, make sure you guys check out that gym as well.
Yes.
So without further ado, we're going to jump into this lineup. So I've got roughly, I think like 12 or 13 of the 20 competitors pulled up. Just basically the core contenders as well as some of the pro debuts. But we'll go through this whole lineup and then we'll step through the list of athletes. So starting out, we got Todd Akers, we got Josh Bridgman out of the UK, Kyrie Cooper, Joseph Angel Cortez, Educate and Werwitzer from the USA making his pro debut, Brino Freire from Brazil back after his pro debut win in Florida last week, Mike Gasaway making his pro debut, Mafuz Hawit from Honduras, Jim Holcomb, Daniel Hughes, who's the Masters World Champion this year. Got Rod Jackson, Alan Kendrick, David Merrill, Dion Merrill, Larry Moon, who is a good friend of mine, making his pro debut. Got Tony Tavares back after the RGV Pro a couple weeks ago. Tim Tevin, Rob Van Sant, Brandon Williams, and Mark Zamora. So that's our full classic lineup. And our first competitor we're going to start out with is Josh Bridgman. So Josh made his classic physique debut at the RGV Pro just 2 weeks ago in Texas and absolutely killed his debut. So Danny, I don't know if you were able to catch some of this coverage, man. Did you get a chance to look at Josh?
I definitely saw some of it, and he brought an intense package to his pro debut. I mean, condition, size. He looked great, in my opinion. Like, granted, anybody can be better, but that was an amazing pro debut and a very good lineup, too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And the thing about Josh that stands out most to me is one, the structure, man. The structure is crazy. He's got fantastic structure. He's a tall guy. He's, I believe, 6'1". So, just that dominant presence on stage. And you can see him standing next to Tony Tavares. And Tony is very, very seasoned in classic physique, one of the best out there. And Josh certainly held his own. He got third place at this show, even beating multiple Olympians in this lineup. So,
Yes.
I think Josh is certainly a contender here, man. Our next competitor is Kyrie Cooper out of the USA. Kyrie is, I'll tell you what, man. I saw him turn pro a couple years ago and just knew he was like a special talent. I think he won So he like started out on the amateur circuit, he won like the Texas State show, then he went on to NPC Nationals, won a pro card and classic and men's physique in the same show. And then this was his pro debut, Texas State last year, where he took fourth place in a pretty solid lineup there. Um, Danny, what are your thoughts on Kyrie Cooper, man?
Bro, the structure is wild, dude. I'm an absolute fan of his structure, dude. I think with a little bit of size, he could do a lot of damage in this category, dude. Size and condition, that is, but his structure stands out. So a lot of guys who are lacking in any department, he could beat them just because of his structure.
Yeah, man, you hit the nail on the head. The structure, like we just look at this front relax, dude. That's crazy looking. Like I look at like guys like Kyrie, like guys like you who can just literally like stand there. They just have that silhouette, you know. It's just like when
Yes,
I think about what classic physique is, this is what I think, man.
literally.
Just crazy ratios. Like he's up there with like no waste, man. It's just crazy impressive. Um,
Non-existent waste.
Absolutely, bro. I think Kyrie's definitely going to be in the conversation. Like you said, you made a really good point, man. The structure's there. It's really just a couple things. Is he going to be on point with the condition? I think he will. And then two, how much size has he added since his pro debut? Which it's
Right.
been about a full year. So you know he's had plenty of time. I know he trains real hard. He's a very um, like articulate individual when it comes to his training as well. He's very methodical. So I think he'll do very well here, man, for sure. So our next competitor is making his pro debut. So this is Eduque and Werutzor. If you are watching this, bro, and I mess up your name, I did my best. But this is a guy who like is going to tower over a lot of people. Turned pro last year at the Amateur O in Class D. He actually beat Larry Wheels in that class. I don't know if anybody else was watching that show, but definitely stood out in that class. He's a big dude, as you can see from these photos. So this is the comparisons there. He's on the far right, and maybe just let's see if we can get some of these other
Carries a
poses.
lot of size.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Huge dude. I wish we could pull up a side shot because I think he's got some really good density, man. I so here's like a 4K routine. So I think he did North Americans earlier last year, and you know, he didn't get his pro card there, but you can see, man, he's just real dense too. And you know, ultimately, man, I think if the posing has improved, this guy could do very well, man.
Yes, yes. It looks like he has all the cards he needs to play with. It's just the posing and showing it off.
Yeah, because he's got a great physique, man. If just you know working on that stage presence, and that's something that comes with time too, man. You're a pro and you've competed at the highest level. You've been on stage many times. Like you could probably attest to it. The more you get on stage, the better your presentation is going to be, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So that is Educate and Werutzor making his pro debut. Next up, this is probably one of the hottest rookies right now in the league. We got Brino Freire out of Brazil. Um, Won the Florida Pro last week. This was before that show. What do you think of the physique, man?
Dude, I'll be honest. The first time I saw him was right before the Florida Pro, and I had someone else winning that show. But when I saw him step on stage, I was like, "Good God, this dude!" You know, sometimes Instagram and stage does not translate, as you know. But when he stepped on stage, he looked a little bit better than he did in those Instagram pics, and I was blown away, dude. I was on the condition, the posing, everything. It just came together for him really well.
Yeah, he's got great classic qualities. I think that's what won him this show. You know, I will say so. Having been there and like watched it from like the front row, I think the thing that makes Brino stand out the most is the width, man. He takes up so much space. he may not have like the smallest waist, but he's got very wide clavicles. He's got big lats, huge quads too, and
Right.
very, very detailed for, I think he's a younger guy too, man. Like, some of these Brazilian guys are like deceivingly, they look a lot younger than they really are. But
Yeah.
like this guy, I'll tell you what, bro, he last week impressed the hell out of me. And I think, he's got to be in contention for this show. Just given this is probably in terms of like show lineup quality, this is probably similar quality of competitors all around. Maybe a touch better than the Florida Pro last week. So I think he's going to be right in there, man, battling for that top spot.
Those quad separations are crazy, dude.
Hmm. Etched in lines, man. That's the name of the game in classic. You got to have good lines.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so that is Brino Freire out of Brazil. Next up, we got Mike Gasaway making his pro debut. So Mike actually turned pro back in 2020 at NPC Nationals, I think in Class B, I want to say. But I look at Mike and I think he's pretty underrated. This is now, granted, this is 4 weeks out, so I'm sure the condition is like even turned up a notch. But he's got this like full like bubbly like quality to his muscle, man. What do you think of some of these shots?
Definitely a standout in the upper department. Like that side chest to me looks wild. I don't think his condition is that far off, but I feel like that peak is gonna pull him in where he needs to be. Hopefully it goes right. But I'm definitely a fan of those uppers. Arms, chest, everything looks solid on that side shot. Legs will probably come up a little bit more, but looks amazing to me.
Yeah, I think this will be a pretty good pro debut, man. He could definitely surprise some people here with.
Yep.
He just has like, you know what I'm saying. Like, if I had to describe it, it's kind of like that '60s esque classic physique, with like
Nailed
the
it.
huge
Nailed it.
arms, bro. Like that silver era bodybuilding, bro. I think the big arms, the quads are like just like perfectly proportional. Honestly, I think they're pretty solid. He doesn't have the smallest waist, but he does have like a really good ratio of like
Yeah,
arms
this
lats
the
to
sweep
waist.
definitely makes the waist look smaller.
Yeah, I think the ratios are good too, man. It's definitely
Yes.
like one of those physiques that you don't see super often in classic, and that's what's awesome about classic. Like, there's so many different looks that you could call classic, and I think Mike's got one of them, man.
Agreed.
Our next competitor is Mahfouz Hawit from Honduras. So this is him here on the left. Mahfouz was third at the Tupelo Pro this year, and unfortunately did not get to stage in time at the Florida Pro. So he didn't get to take the stage last week. But as you can see, like him standing next to some of these guys, he compares, pretty favorably. He looks pretty damn good. Um, and this is him there with Brino Freire, the winner. Let's pull up. I got like a 4K routine from, maybe hell, this might even be like 8K routine from RGV Pro, where I think he was like seventh place, but that lineup was crazy stacked at the same time. So
Yeah. Yeah.
just looking at this routine, man, does anything stand out to you personally?
Honestly, from the first time he started moving was his condition. Those glutes look shredded on that side shot. And I think that plays a big part in his entire physique. He's not the most crazy, gifted structure guy, but the condition and fullness that he brings gives him a good look.
Yeah, he's got crazy pop too, man. Like,
Yes.
especially through the upper body, the arms, the delts, the chest. He's really gifted in the upper body, and the lower body's good too. My one critique of Mahfouz is probably just like bringing up the legs just a touch more
Correct.
to
Correct.
match the upper, but like he's very classic in every regard, and I think just making that upper lower symmetry work a little bit more is gonna only make him move up the ranks because this is his first year as a pro, so he looks fantastic.
Here. Wow.
Mhm. So that
Sheesh.
is Mahfouz Hawit. Let's see who else we got here. Who did I skip over? So that's okay. I got Daniel Hughes is next. Okay, so Daniel Hughes is our Masters World Champ. Here he is right here. So this is from his win this year at the. So I think he won the 40 plus division, which is like the lowest, the like the youngest masters division there is at the World Championships. Uh, what are your thoughts on some of these shots, man?
Muscle up on muscle, bro. Honestly, for his age, he looks amazing, dude. Like that,
Dude, he's got
that shot is
crazy
nasty.
lines.
The legs, the lats, everything just fits.
Yeah, I think the condition's really, really gnarly too, man. Like this
Yeah.
is gonna be one of the sharpest guys in the show. And as a Masters world champ, that is definitely something to be proud of too, because the Masters crop of talent just continues to grow, just like Open Classic Physique every single year. And Daniel having won that title this year could be in contention for a top 10 spot here. I certainly think so. So it's Daniel Hughes. Next up, we got Dion Merrill. So Dion just did the Florida Pro last week, actually, and he made a lot of improvements over the offseason, man. Take a look at some of these stage shots, which I will add the asterisk. They kind of wash the guys out a little bit in these shots, even
Okay.
even though the stage lighting in person was actually like pretty solid. So um, the condition comes with with an asterisk there, but just looking at some of these shots, man, what stands out to you about Dion?
Standout would be the legs for me. I think he could work on those lats a little bit. That probably the back needs to come up a little bit more to solidify that silhouette that he's trying to create. But honestly, he doesn't look bad. Vacuum looks good. Legs look great. Arms could use a little bit more size, but the chest looks solid too.
Yeah, and Dion's a really tall guy too, so I know he's just trying to fill out at this point, and he knows
Makes
that
sense.
too. He's a smart guy who he's very aware of like what he's good at, what he needs to bring up, and I certainly think Dion's got the structure to be good here in Classic. It's just a matter of like time, adding the
Yeah,
size. That's really it.
yeah.
So that is Dion Merrill. Next up, we got my friend Larry Moon. So Larry and I actually used to train at the same gym here in Tennessee. So Larry is a Masters pro making his pro debut. So he turned pro back at the 2022 Masters USA's, actually as an unenhanced athlete. So just knowing Larry personally, I think I could probably speak to what his strengths are. He's definitely like a very detailed guy. That's probably his biggest strength is this guy is a workhorse in the gym, man. Like having been around him and like trained with him here and there, like Larry he's one of those guys who just loves to train. He loves to grind, man. Like he's always staying on point with his training, his cardio. Just absolutely loves this man. And I think we're gonna probably see an all-time best from him, truly, because he's very motivated and really excited to take the stage. So that is Larry Moon. Next up, we got definitely one of the favorites in this lineup. This is Tony Tavares. Took second at the RGV Pro. He's a classic Olympian. So just looking at some of these updates that we got here with his coach Ray Baker there in the background. So just looking at some of these shots, Danny, what do you think of these updates from Tony?
Man, I've always been a fan of Tony's posing. Like I love the way he poses. I feel like he's very classic when it comes to posing. Other than that, his standout is always his side chest for me, dude. His side chest is wild. Like his chest, of course, is honestly wild. The only critique I'll give is the legs. The legs needs to come up to match the uppers a bit, and that's basically it. I feel like he brings condition. His back shot is nasty, but the legs do need to match the uppers.
Yeah, I think Tony is just a very, very solid all around classic athlete. He's very balanced, man, and that's the thing that stands out to me most. He takes up so much space, like great
Yes,
width, great
look at that.
structure, and I think he reached new levels this year in terms of like condition and like fullness simultaneously, man. Because those things definitely make a difference.
Agreed.
Like Tony can hang with just about anybody in terms of structure, in my opinion, and got great density. I definitely think it's gonna be a battle in this show, but like Tony
Yes,
has to be considered for a top spot here. I really like his physique.
agreed.
So Tony Tavares there. Next up, we got Rob Van Sant. So Rob is a guy that I actually, so he and I worked together for this Florida show that he did last week, and brought his best look to date. Man, he's a taller guy, and just crazy, crazy round and full. Man, that's one thing about Rob's physique that I really like. Just looking at some of these shots, Danny, what do you think of Rob?
As you said, the fullness, man. The fullness. And for a taller guy, he is holding a solid size. Granted, there's room to improve, but I like what I see. Like that
Yeah.
fullness on him is intense.
Yeah, and I think he might be trying something different this week. So, like I said, he and I worked on the last prep together. He's doing the peak this week himself, though. So, we were trying to do things a little bit conservatively last week, just to try to, because he has no issue with fullness. We were just trying to bring him in like tight, but simultaneously
Right.
full, not go too hard with the food. So I think what he's going to probably go for is a little bit fuller of a look this time around. So, but I really think Rob is really good. He knows what he's got to work on, and I think we're only going to see
Give me one
greater
second, man.
things from
Sorry.
Rob in the future. Oh, it's all good, bro.
All right, I'm back.
All right, so our last guy here is Brandon Williams. So Brandon last competed 3 weeks, or not 3 weeks ago, 3 years ago at the Texas Pro. So he did the 2021 Texas Pro, which was like that very first matchup between Logan Franklin and Rob Timms. Like that show was crazy. I remember watching that and then seeing this guy in the background, Brandon Williams, right here, the short guy. I was like, this guy's really good, man. Really sneaky good.
Yeah.
Um, he ended up placing fourth at that show. The only guys who beat him at that show were Logan,
Guys, come in.
Rob, and Steve Lorius. So, I mean, this guy is, I think he's a sleeper, bro. What do you think of this side chest right here?
Oh, that's great. Like unless he's a shorter guy, but he does pack a lot of muscle and the condition. So I feel like he's definitely a sleeper in this category, in this lineup. And if they miss, he's coming in for it.
Yeah, he's he's definitely dangerous, I think. And you know, pending the top five picks here, I think he very well could slip into that top five or top four. He's that good, really. So a lot of people might not be aware of him, but watch out for Brandon Williams in this lineup. So that's our full classic physique athlete lineup. Now for the fun part of the show, we are gonna give our top five picks here. So Danny, since you are the guest, man, I would like to offer you. Would you like to start, or would you like me to?
Um, I honestly would like to start. I'm gonna butcher some names though, so
All right, so give me
we
give me
start
your
with
fifth
the
place pick.
we start with the fifth, right?
Yep.
All right, all right. So I do not want to butcher his name, so I'm gonna just say EJ. Yes,
All
I
right.
think if he comes in tight and with the posing, I have him in fifth.
Yeah, and he's a big guy. He's definitely not going to get overlooked. That's that's for certain,
Facts,
man. He takes up a
facts.
lot of space. So so we got Educate there in fifth place for Danny. My fifth place finisher, I got Mafuz Hawit from Honduras, man. I've seen Mafuz a couple of times in person and think he's got a really killer physique. Just the condition is always spot on, very full and round, and ultimately, I think he's going to do very well and compare favorably among some of these other guys because of how much size he carries. So I got Mafuz there in fifth place.
Understandably, I actually have him in fourth.
Okay, okay. So Mafuz there in fourth place for Danny. All right. So my fourth place. Let's see. This might come as a surprise. I'm probably catch some flack for it, but here we go. I got Brino Freire in fourth place. A lot of people are gonna be surprised by this. Um, I think Brino is very good, but he does have one pose that I think he can be beat in, and I think he's gonna get beat by my top three in that pose, and that's just
Okay.
I think his back
Okay.
elbow bicep is and probably his ab and thigh are probably his two worst poses, and the entire top three that I got, maybe with the exception of one of the guys, those are all like spot on, like really really good poses for all of them. So, um, I do think the guy in third, him, that we could probably flip flop them, but I think Brino's going to have a tough time here against some of these veteran guys because they carry even better shape and can match him condition wise and size wise.
Yeah. Agreed.
So Brino in fourth for me. So on to your third place pick.
All right. For Jesus. I'm putting, and I know this is probably a little bit far fetched, but I'm putting Kyrie in third.
Okay.
I'm a fan of his physique, and I haven't seen him lately, and I'm pretty sure is this recent?
So this was, I believe, like the start of his off season actually. So he hasn't really
Right.
posted any super recent. I think this is really like the most recent full physique update that we got.
Yeah, I'm leaving him in third.
Understandably so, man. This guy is crazy classic, and I can't blame you, man. Um, in third, I'm gonna go with Josh Bridgman, man. I really like
Oh,
this guy's shape. The structure is really incredible. Um, he's gonna be able to stand toe to toe with a lot of these guys, structure wise. He's not like the most imposing in terms of size, but he carries enough size to compare very favorably among some of these guys, like Tony, who are pretty big. Maybe like Educate, like the guy you had in fifth. But I think Josh is so good shape wise and condition wise, and he's even tighter than he was in RGB. Like he's definitely pushed condition harder too. So I think Josh he's gonna make some noise here. So I got Josh in third.
nice, nice. Honestly, my second pick is a toss up between two, and it's hard to choose. So, guys, don't hate me for this. Please don't hate me for this. It's between it's between Tony and the guy you had in, I believe, fourth.
Yeah,
The guy's
Tony
name.
Bruno.
Yeah, so between Tony and that guy, I know one of them is gonna get second. I'm leaning towards Tony, so I'm gonna leave Tony up there.
All right, so Tony in second place for Danny. All right, so back. Let's see. My second place pick. I'm actually going Kyrie. Kyrie in second
Ooh,
place, bro. I genuinely believe that his structure is really really going to carry him far here, man. The best structure in this show, in my opinion, and I think the condition's going to be there. I really do. Like I think we're going to see even better condition than in his pro debut, and he's very very complete overall. uh, like
yes, he
like
is.
you said earlier, man, like as he just continues to build size, he's gonna just like step into his own, man. I
Yes,
think Kyrie's really good. He's extremely extremely humble, extremely focused, really intelligent guy too. I think he's gonna do everything he has to do and come out here and place very well, so I got him in second.
next month.
All right. So back to Danny. So you had it between two guys for one and two. So who is your winner?
All right, let me start off by saying this disclaimer. I think Kyrie could win this show if he comes in tight. All right. But I have Josh taking it.
Oh, you got Josh. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay. Josh
yeah.
Bridgman.
I think he's gonna come in better for this show, and if he comes in tighter and a little bit fuller, I think he can take the show.
Okay, okay. So Josh Bridgman there is Danny's winner. So my winner, I'm going with Tony in this one. So I had Tony, I predicted Tony to win RGV. Um, and my conclusion still stands. I still think Tony is just extremely complete. That's the one thing I can't get away from. Just super wide, super dense, does not have any weak shots whatsoever, man. And the thing about RGV is I think if he would have actually done a couple of things differently, he might have actually won that show. There was just
Agreed.
they actually made some posing adjustments, particularly like a different favorite classic that I actually think if he would have hit it like at prejudging like he did at finals, he would have probably ended up winning the show, because
Right.
I thought it was that close. And the shot that's going to make the difference here for me is this back double bicep, man. I don't think anybody in this show can compete with that shot. That shot
I
is too good.
definitely agree with you. And I hate judging shows that I'm not there in person to see because the pics or the videos don't tell much, But I can see him taking this show too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I feel pretty confident in this one in making the calls of the comparisons because I've seen like literally every guy here in person. So and recently too, within the past couple of weeks, because most of these guys have been at the RGV or the Florida Pro. So uh,
Right, right.
but I got Tony Tavares and Danny's got Josh Bridgman. We'll get a rematch of second and third place at RGV Pro again this week. This is going to be a fun one. We also got,
Yes.
like we mentioned, the Florida Pro winner from last week, Brino Freire from Brazil. He's going to be going into this one looking to steal another victory ahead of the Olympia. So this is the last Olympia qualifier here in the United States for this year. So we got one more qualification up for grabs. We got over 60 guys qualified here for this year's Olympia. So that's going to do it for the picks. But before we wrap things up, I want to again make sure you guys can find Danny here on socials and give a big thanks for him to take the time out of his day to just talk some bodybuilding. And make sure you guys give him a follow. Here is the Black Panther on Instagram. Use his codes for his sponsors. Check out his gym as well. And Danny, is there anything you want to say, like shout outs you want to give to people out there, anybody in your corner, anything you want to say to the athletes?
Oh, definitely. Shout out to my coach, Casey Anderson. Love you, bro, from the bottom of my heart. Shout out to my family for your support. You know who you are. I'm not gonna name names, but my gym again, Iron Grind Gym in El Paso, Aslan Pharmaceuticals, and anybody that support me, the Panther. I love you guys. Thank you guys. Bless.
Man, it was great having you on, and it's always great talking bodybuilding with great classic athletes like you, man. So it's an absolute pleasure having you on, and I think we'll definitely be seeing more of Danny in the future, guys.
Hell yeah. Hey, I'm looking forward to it, bro. I'm down to do another one whenever. I love talking bodybuilding, dude, especially when it comes to my category, classic physique. So I'm here for it.
Absolutely, man. So that is going to do it for the preview today, guys. Make sure you guys like, comment, share this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Posting all the latest in classic physique on YouTube, on Instagram. The Instagram handle is the exact same. It's CPC Bodybuilding. And then I'll also make sure you guys can find Danny too. I'll put that in the description. So make sure you guys go give him a follow. Show him some love. So that's going to do it, guys. I'm Brant, and that's Danny. Make sure you guys keep it classic. We'll catch you later.